There we go. Okay, all right. So here's what we're going to do today. First things first, we're going to go with our bell ringer. We do have some notes we're going to talk about shortly. Talking about logical fallacies today. Logical fallacies. This is, I think, the fun part of our logic, unit. There we go. That's the word I was looking for. I think logical fallacies are kind of the fun part of our logic unit. We got 2-part notes today. We'll go to part 1, and then you guys are going to have logic practice number 3. This is going to be your last, I guess, really practice. What just happened there? This is going to be your last practice session with some sudoku. I'm not very good at it, so I'm going to be practicing too. All right, so let's look at our bell ringer for today. All right, so our bell ringer for today. Logical reasoning is an argument which we have with ourselves and which reproduces internally the features of a real argument. I'm going to say that one more time. So, logical reasoning is an argument which we have with ourselves and which reproduces internally the features of a real argument. This is a quote by Jean Piaget. Now, you're thinking, hold on, Mr. Trident, don't that say Jean Piaget? No, that's not it. Jean Piaget was a child psychologist during, early 1900s. A lot of what we know about childhood development comes from Jean Piaget, kind of the levels of development during childhood and into adulthood. If you're interested in education, childhood development, anything to do with psychology and all that, you will see Jean Piaget. You will see that name once more in some of those ideas. Okay. All right. So what I ask you guys to do is again give me your interpretation. So what do you think is meant by this quote? How do you read this quote? What does this mean to you? That's the question. Carissa, what do you think? Hold on. You have an answer because you're not going to lie. Not going to lie about what?
I'm not going to lie. I have an answer to be in it.
Okay, well, answer now.
I don't know. I have an answer.
I'll read it one more time. Here we go. Logical reasoning is an argument which we have with ourselves and which reproduces internally the features of every argument. What do you think, Carissa?
I don't know.
What do you mean you don't know? We got volunteers. I love volunteers. Volunteers are my favorite people in the world. You want to become one of my favorite people in the world. You want to become one of my favorite students. All you have to do is volunteer. Everybody wants to be one of my favorite students? Okay. Katie! Go ahead.
I said when you're creating an argument, you have to work through all the possible outcomes, and then within yourself, you can back up your thoughts and opinions with why you believe what you
Boom. Before you can argue with somebody else, man, you gotta think about this within your own self, within your own mind. How are you gonna tell somebody else they're wrong if you haven't done this process in your mind first? Because maybe you're not as smart as you think you are sometimes. Or maybe, not even that, maybe there is a flaw in your own reason. There's a flaw in your own reason. That's what we're talking about today. The flaws in our own reasoning. Sometimes we try to persuade people or try to change somebody's mind, but we can't construct that argument as well as we need to. I'll tell you something real quick. Last night I went with my mom and dad, right? My mom, my dad, my brother, me, watching some football. And my mom and dad are arguing about something. I ain't gonna tell you what, because family. Some person did. We asked them. It's messed up. Anyway, no. But they're arguing about something, and they're talking. But the thing they're talking about, they both have very different definitions for it. So they're arguing, and they're both like butting heads with each other. Not physically. They're not They're mom and dad. Anyway, so but they're butting heads because they were talking about one concept, but they have two different definitions for it. And then it comes to find out, so you know what? Oh man, we kind of agree. So they realize at the end. I'm just like, that. Yep.
You just let them argue. You didn't have to tell them that.
Look. Chris. If you tell your mom and dad that they're wrong, how does that typically work out for you?
They just ask me why I think they're wrong, and then I tell them.
Man, we were born in 2 different centuries. I was born in 1990. You know what the motto for my family was? For me, my dad always told me. He said, "Children should be seen, not heard." And that still applies. That still applies sometimes. No, I was trying to help. I was trying to help as the mediator. And then that's the way I'm like, look, you're talking about this. You're talking about this. Y'all are not talking about the same thing. You know what? We're not that different. Good. I'm glad y'all figured that out. What y'all doing? I'm not here. That's what I asked. And I know they did. It's argument. That's what happens if you've been married for a while. My parents been married for 30 years. Parents been married for 30 years. So yeah, they argue. They argue. That's just what happens. That's what happens. All right. Huh? What you say? You talking about my mom and dad?
No.
Don't you start that. What'd you say?
I said I'm not even married.
Chris, you argue with the law.
That's not true. I am going to become a lawyer, so I guess it makes sense.
Okay, well then you really need to pay attention to what we're going to talk about today. Logical fallacies, part 1. Anybody know what a logical fallacy is? I've talked about flaw in reasoning. That kind of helps. What is a logical fallacy? What do you guys think that is? Taz, what do you think a logical fallacy is? We talked about this a little bit last year. You remember that? You zoned out. Okay, thank you for being honest. Taz, you remember when we talked about logical fallacies last year? What could you give us like an idea, just like a little brief? You know, what is a logical fallacy? Oh, you got this, dude. I got all the faith in the world. Logical fallacy. Logical fallacy is a flaw in reasoning. Okay, it's a flaw in reasoning. We use this many different ways. Today, I'm going to show you over the next 2 days. Today and tomorrow, I'm going to show you the top 10. There we go. Top 10 most used logical fallacies. You will recognize some of these. Carissa, you are going to say, "Oh my God, I've been doing this my whole life." Maybe. I don't know which logical fallacies you use, but we all use them. Because again, we are human beings. We make bad arguments from time to time. We probably make more bad arguments than good arguments. At least I know that during my life I have probably done that. All right, so here's what we're going to do. We do have notes. Again, I ask that you write these down. Today, looking at part 1, logical fallacies. So let's go ahead. Turn right here, folks. So logical fallacies, part 1. I'm going to show you what logical fallacies are. Oh, I don't want to show you examples yet. No, let's not go there. Sorry. I forget. Oh, not that one either. Oh, I'm ruining the good stuff. I'm ruining the good stuff. Oh my gosh. Y'all have already seen it. Oh god. There we go. Logical fallacies, part 1. We're going to talk about the top 10 most commonly used logical fallacies. Slide number 1 is going to be just kind of a brief overview of what logical fallacies are. Okay? So good deal. All right, again, I do ask that you write our notes because, again, I'm going to reiterate this a lot because I don't want you to think I just like you doing busy work. Taking notes is not busy work. I guarantee you. I'll tell you why. There is much more that goes on up here. Much more that goes on up here when you are physically writing. Why? Well, now there is a mind-body connection to the material we're covering. That's a big deal. Yeah. We're good. It's what you asked for, right? Yeah, this went along. Yeah, I mean my exams, or just everybody? This is everybody. Good to go. Thank you. Oh, right.
Students, if you are on the English hall and you need your pictures retook, please come down to the commons area.
All right, so again, we are engaging with material.
Also, if you need your picture retook or you haven't got them took at all, this would be your cue. So if you're on the English hall, please come on down to the commons area. Thank you.
All right, again, the reason I like you guys writing notes because there's much more going on up here because there's a mind-body connection. You're engaging with material. You're just reading them. You're only engaging on one level. We're engaging on multiple levels. We are multi-dimensional. Sorry, I don't get to say that very often. Actually, I don't think I've ever said that. All right, anyway, so here's what we're gonna do. I'm turning that air down. This is already getting a little warm in here. Maybe it's because it's freaking warm sweater today, Carissa. That was a mistake. I'm gonna open these blinds just a little bit, a little bit of light. Oh man. Oh, so you're saying that's dark? No, it's not. It's cloudy. That is not dark. It is not nighttime. All right, I am gonna cut the lights off, so do not fall asleep on me. That's why I talk really loud, talk really fast, keep you awake. That's it. That's it. All right, so here we go. Logical fallacies, part one. Part one, we are looking at the top 5 today. 5 of the most, I shouldn't say top 5 because I didn't got these in any kind of order. Anyways, let's just continue. So what is a logical fallacy? Question, why is it so hot in here? That wasn't the question I was going to ask. Golly, is it on heat? Yeah, it is. Okay.
You're also walking back.
Huh?
You're also walking
No, it's not that. It's not that I'm walking back and forth. It's that it's on heat. How do I get this off of heat? I can't stand it. Okay. We fix it. Ladies and gentlemen, we fix it. Good now. Good. You good? Are you hot? You're not? Are you cold? Okay. If you get cold easy, you might want to bring a jacket, because I don't. Again, maybe it's because I'm moving around. I don't know. I don't know. Just how it is. All right, so what is a logical fallacy? Question I was going to ask you guys. Anybody seen Star Trek? Anybody seen any of the Star Trek movies? They came out, a lot of them came, there's a whole trilogy that came out over the past 10 years. No, nobody? Okay, but this means nothing to you. Okay, so a logical fallacy is an error in reasoning. An error in reasoning. We've been talking about reasoning, deductive and inductive reasoning. Logical fallacies undermine an argument because the reasoning behind that argument is flawed. Again, the reason that we are covering logic first, the reason we've been talking about, critical thinking, how to construct an argument, is because if we don't understand how this works and what a good argument looks like, we're not going to understand what these philosophers of years past, what their ideas are actually conveying. Because we have to see through the bullcrap. Because there's a lot of people that are going to tell you certain things, but they're not going to have good reasoning behind it. Not to say that, again, that life is completely irrational. But that is a good indicator of whether you should follow through on an idea or not, follow through on an action or not. Is it rational? So, why do people use logical fallacies? Good question. Good question. Glad you asked. I've been wanting to talk to you about this. So, people use logical fallacies because they don't have enough evidence to support their claim. Okay? Let me ask you this. Show of hands. How many times, let me rephrase. Show of hands. Has your parents ever told you to do something, and when you asked why, they said, because I said so? All right, good. We have something in common. Good. I was starting to think that your childhood and my childhood are not at all the same. We got something in common. Good deal. Did that satisfy your curiosity? No, it didn't. You said maybe when you were 3 or 4, when you're very little, before you know how to think for yourself at all. Not saying that you were dumb. No. Childhood development. Come on now. I'm not picking on you. Ease. Give me a hard time up here. I'm not picking on you. But the older you got, the more times you heard that answer, the less satisfied you were. The more you heard, because I said so, the least satisfied you were. Until one day, maybe you just blew up. Maybe you yelled at mom and dad. I don't know. I did. I got in trouble a lot as a child. It's because I was, we don't need to get down. All right, anyway. So people use logical fallacies because they don't have enough evidence to support their claim, or trying to make an argument more appealing, or simply do not know how to logically construct an argument. Now, before you get this in your mind, I'm not saying that your parents did not tell you to do whatever for good reason. Maybe they just didn't want to explain it to you. Maybe because you couldn't understand at that time. Maybe because they just didn't have time to explain it to you. Because sometimes our explanations require lengthy time periods in which we need to sit down and discuss it. Maybe they had good reasoning behind it. Maybe they said, because I said so. Maybe, again, they're just looking out for your best interest. And they just need you to trust them. Maybe that's it. So I'm not saying your parents, whatever they told you to do, and then their reasoning was because I said so. I'm not saying what they told you to do wasn't the right thing. I'm not saying that at all. I'm saying that you were not satisfied with that response because it did not logically make sense to you. So, yeah, so don't go home telling mom and dad they're trying to talk crap about you. All right? I know who's in here. I know who's in here. I'll figure it out. I'll test it. I'm just kidding. All right. So again, we all use logical fallacies. It's definitely not just here. It's Mr. Trotter. It's you. It's everybody in this building. Everybody on this earth uses logical fallacies in some form or another at some point in their life. Okay? Because we're all trying to be persuasive. We all need things from other people. And not manipulative way. Because here we are. We're connected somehow. We're connected in some way. We need to be able to persuade people. We need to be able to tell people what we need, what we want. And again, logically, broke that hard. So we all use them. But by knowing what they look like and how to spot them, we can figure out what is true, what is right, what is logical. Okay? So, this is our, what's the word I'm looking for? This is our goal over the next 2 days. Figure out what logical fallacies look like. Look at some examples of logical fallacies. Okay? All right, so we're going to continue on. If you're still writing this, you can come back to it. We're going to go on. I'm going to show you some examples. These are in no particular order. These are not numbered 10 to 1, 1 to 10. I just put them together. I've grouped them a certain way. Last semester, I don't remember how I grouped them. All right, anyway, so number 1, slippery slope. So I have given you a definition. I've given you a definition of the logical fallacy being used. I've also given you an example. So again, I'm trying to give you 2 different, textbook, this is what it is, and then showing you what it is. Because we probably don't think about slippery slope, or again, we probably don't think about this definition. We probably think about the example. All right, so what is a slippery slope fallacy? This is a conclusion based on the premise that if A happens, then eventually, through a series of small steps, through B, C, X, Y, Z, will happen too. Basically equating A and Z, so if we don't want Z to occur, A must not be allowed to occur either. What does that mean, Mr. Tribe? I know what you're asking. Again, this is a definition of what slippery slope fallacy is, which is also I give you an example. Because until we see it in practice, it's just theory. It's abstract. We need to make it concrete for it to make sense. So what is a slippery slope fallacy? What does that look like? It looks like this. If we ban Hummers, that's a Hummer. Man, with those, so these used to be like almost like, pretty much you just saw Hummers like in the military, and then around probably 2002, 2003, they came out with the H2, the Hummer 2s. That is what that is right there. A little bit more, for the mainstream consumer. They get terrible gas mileage. I don't know what it is now, but I remember when they first came out. I guess I'm just going to leave you on a cliffhanger. What is it?
If you need your picture done on the science hall, the gym, and farmer's room, please come to the commons area. That was the science hall, the gym, and farmer's room. Thank you.
So when these came out, I'm ballparking. So if I'm not 100% correct, shoot, it's okay. Probably 2002, 2003, gas mileage, talking about 12, 13, 14 miles per gallon. So again, they're not very they're not very gas efficient. Okay? And, one of the things with one of the arguments that have been made, I'm not taking any type of stance here, I'm just saying what has been said, is that, the worse, gas efficiency you have, essentially, that may be bad for the environment. The more gas we have to go through, the more exhaust it's going into the, the air that we breathe. So here's the argument back around then. And this argument comes around from time to time. If we ban Hummers, that's a Hummer, because it has bad gas mileage. If we ban Hummers because they are bad for the environment, eventually the government will ban all cars, so we should not ban Hummers. We'll say it one more time. If we ban Hummers because they're bad for the environment, eventually the government will ban all cars, so we should not ban Hummers. Now, could this happen? Yeah, it could happen. But this is a big stretch. This is a big stretch. Just because Hummers are not gas efficient doesn't mean that if you ban Hummers, then every single car is going to be banned. You are equating A with Z. There's a lot of other things that would have to happen to make that the case. It's not direct by any means. You're taking a large stretch there. Big stretch. Because guess what? There has been vehicles that have been banned, but we're still able to drive. So, again, big stretch right here. So, okay, here's how this works in somebody's mind. And you hear these type of arguments. Okay, so if a Hummer gets 12 miles a gallon, then every car that gets 12 miles a gallon will be banned. Okay, but then where does that go? Well, does that go up to 15, and then every car over 15 is banned? Okay, where does that go? Up to 20? Okay, every car under 20 gets banned. Where does that go? To 30? Okay, every car under 30 gets banned. Oh, does that go up to 50? Okay, every car under 50 miles per gallon. That means the gas you put in your car, you put in 1 gallon, you get 50 miles. Okay, now they're banned. Okay, 100. Hold on, 100. Why do we even have cars? We're just going to bicycle everywhere. Large stretch, right? Large stretch. Do you see the large stretch?
Yeah.
Okay, all right, good. Because I was about to say, man, that's my best one. We see this, though. We see these type of arguments. Well, if you move the age to buy cigarettes up to 21, eventually you're not even going to be an adult until you're 50. So again, you're making big generalizations there. Big generalizations. Very large generalizations. Again, let's look at this definition. Conclusion based on the premise. If A happens, then eventually through a series of small events, B, C, X, Y, Z will happen too. Basically equating A and Z. So if we don't want Z to occur, A must not be allowed to occur either. You hear this a lot? You want to know where, and again, I'm not taking a stance here. I'm simply stating where I've seen logical fallacies occur more than anything, is when politicians are appealing to voters. You see this, especially in election years, from both sides of the aisle. I'm not taking a stance, trust me. But you see this. So maybe not even the politicians, but people that are in support of those politicians. Again, on either side of the aisle, they'll use some just bad arguments to appeal to you. But if you look at it closely, you can see sometimes the arguments aren't what they're made out to be. All right, so the second one, hasty generalization. So what is a hasty generalization? This is a conclusion based off insufficient or biased evidence. In other words, you are rushing to a conclusion before you have all the relevant facts. I'm going to give you a real life example that you may be feeling right at this moment. So this is, I guess, your second day in class. So I guess this is a little. But our example here of a hasty generalization. Even though it's the first day, I can tell this is going to be a boring course. Now, hopefully, none of you are thinking. But if you are, hey, that's okay. You can think that. Logic is the toughest, probably the driest part of philosophy. But it's where we have to start. where we have to start, which is what I've been telling you guys. We have to understand what makes a good argument, what makes sense, what's rational, what's logical. We have to understand that before we can look at some of these ideas of the past 2,500 years. So if you don't like this part of philosophy, that's okay. It's going to get better, I promise you. But you can also be thinking this here. Oh, well, since Mr. Triton's class is boring the second day, man, it's going to be boring the whole time. You're making a hasty generalization. You're assuming that because of a very small sample size, that the conclusion is, well, this is how it's always going to be. This is how it's always going to be. This happens in relationships too. You have a boyfriend, you have a girlfriend. Maybe the first time you guys get to argue, she just shuts down, or he just goes off, starts yelling. First time you've gotten into an argument. And that's how they respond. Now, you can go ahead and put in your mind, this is how they're always going to respond. I can't take this. I got to break up with them right now. Or you can be easy. Say, okay, just because it happened this time doesn't mean it's going to happen every time. And just some advice. If you don't like the way something is going down, simply state that. Say, hey, I know we argued. I know we got to an argument. We ain't got to go at each other like that. We can talk about it. You ain't got to yell at me. We can talk about it. I like this meme too. Ever been so bored class that you made freaking pancakes? I can't believe that. That cannot be real. It cannot be real. Dude ain't frying pancakes in my class. I can tell you that. It's like foods. I had a foods class when I was in high school. First block. So you came in and you just made breakfast in the morning. That was legit. This is good stuff. I mean, none of us could cook. It was not good food. But you got to eat first thing in the morning. You didn't have to wake up early to eat. You just rolled out of bed, threw some clothes on, came to class. You made some food. You ate breakfast. It wasn't very good, but hey. You made it. So the one person that blames you. All right, so this is hasty generalization. Again, making a large conclusion of a very limited sample. Again, we do this a lot. Hasty generalization is probably it might be the most commonly used because, again, we take small sample size, we equate it to be this large conclusion. All right, good. Let's go to number 3. Number 3 we see a lot. You remember that whole thing we talked about earlier with the parent state because I said so? That is what this falls under. This is called appeal to authority. It's called appeal to authority. Hey, look at that example in the right-hand corner. Viceroys filter the smoke. As your dentist, I would recommend Viceroys. That is a type of cigarette. This is an actual ad. I did not make this up. This is an actual ad from, if I had to ballpark it, 1930s, 1940s, maybe early 1950s. So because I'm your dentist, why do dentists have authority? We assume that dentists are smart, right? There's a lot of school that goes into being a dentist. They take care of your teeth, they take care of your mouth, so they should know a pretty good bit about cigarettes. Probably, I guess. I don't know. They thought so. As your dentist, I recommend this cigarette. People that used to be an ad. It's wild, isn't it? Your grandparents maybe saw stuff like that. I don't know how old your grandparents are. I'm just guessing. Let's see. What year is this? 2021? Let's back up 50 years. It's 1971. Your grandparents probably, I don't know. Your grandparents probably didn't see it. Maybe not. Mine did. But, we're dead. All right, so appeal to authority, insisting that a claim is true simply because a valid authority or expert on the issue said it was true without any supporting evidence, without any other supporting evidence. All right, so again, we see this in government. Example: the mayor said that the crime rate is down. The statistics claiming otherwise must be erroneous. Erroneous means not true, false. Because the mayor said so, and the mayor is the leader of the city. Because he said so, that must be the case. Because he has the authority, he is the leader. We must trust what the leader says is always true, even if the stats, the statistics, prove otherwise. Again, this has gotten a lot of people in trouble over the years. Like you can see how that is. Yeah, I'm not saying that, again, statistics tell us all the information we need. But again, if you've got contradictory statements being made, if you've got statistics, they're saying one thing, and then whoever is leading saying another thing. Well, then you have to try to draw that correlation as to, okay, well, why are these two things saying something different? If you say just because this guy's in charge, or because this woman is an expert, then it must be true, you are committing appeal to authority. Because guess what? There's always going to be somebody that has more authority than you, or that knows more than you. That doesn't mean that they're always right. That doesn't mean they're always right. Hey, I can tell you, hey, you need to, philosophy is the best class you can take here. I can tell you all sorts of stuff. You have to do this because I'm your teacher and I have the authority. But that doesn't satisfy you either. It doesn't satisfy you either. Well, of course you would say that. Of course you would say that. You're in charge. This is how sometimes we talk about how power can corrupt people. It's, oh, well, look, I'm the smartest one. I'm the most educated person in this class. So what I say goes. That is an appeal to authority. Am I the smartest person in this class? No, probably not. Probably not. I'm not a genius. Guarantee that. We talked about that last week. Either Mr. Triner is a genius or he is not. He is not. He is not a genius. All right, anyways. Good deal, good deal. Let's go to number quattro. That is 4 in English. If you don't know, now you know. All right, circular argument. This happens when you attempt to make an argument, by beginning with an assumption that what you're trying to prove is already true. In your premise, you already accept the truth of the claim you're attempting to make. Okay, what does that mean? All right, so again, in mathematical language, because again, we've been talking about Aristotle. Aristotle is a mathematician at heart. We see essentially a math equation. Essentially a math equation using left. If A, then B. If B, then A. What does that mean? What does that mean? Example. I don't know why I'm using so many cigarette examples. I guess because, honestly, I think when I made this last semester, and I've revisited it since then, and I decided to keep all these examples. I think the reason I use these is because that's something obvious that we see is like, oh, well, yeah, that's definitely bad for you. Like, why has it been like, why was it so, like, said otherwise for such a long time?
I need your picture took. Please come on down to the comments area. I just want to remind everybody, if you have not got them took or you need them redone, today will be your last chance. This is the last group, so if you could, just come on down and we will get it taken care of. Thank you.
So example, smoking is bad for your health because it is unhealthy. Duh. Yeah, okay, we got that. Yeah, it's not good for you. But why? But why? Well, it's unhealthy. Okay, yeah. But why? But why? Because it's bad for your health. I feel like I'm arguing with a wall. A circular argument. Again, let's think. I got another example. Oh, where'd it go? It's in my head. What was it? Now it's slipping my mind. I'll come back to it. I had it in my mind, then I lost it. So again, smoking is bad for your health because it is unhealthy. You can also look at this the same exact way, because again, it's not providing any type of reasoning. It's just restating the same thing. You can look at it as smoking is unhealthy because it is bad for your health. Okay, again, this isn't telling us anything we don't know. That is not. Again, if you're gonna tell somebody not to do something because it's bad for their health, your reasoning cannot be because it is unhealthy. That's not going to change anything. You're not proving that it's unhealthy. You're not proving anything other than you may not know what unhealthy means. All right. Anyways, all right. So circular argument. We'll come back to this. Because I got an example I just can't think of. All right, last one we're going to look at today, ad hominem. This is number 5. So ad hominem. We see this one a lot too. Again, when we see these in politics, y'all see this we see this in in entertainment, you see this in sports, you see this in just normal everyday life. You get a job, you go see this. So what is ad hominem? advertently attacking somebody, or more subtly, casting doubt on their character or personal attributes as a way to discredit their argument. Okay? So here's an example. You got a D in astronomy. So if you took an astronomy class, you got a D in it. Means you barely passed. So you got a D in astronomy. You aren't smart enough to have a definitive theory as to there being life on other planets. I used the wrong pair. Oh my God, I'm so embarrassed. Oh, don't look. Let me fix it. Don't look. Use the wrong pair. Oh my gosh. That one don't work. I'm so embarrassed. All right, get it fixed. That's close. All right, you got a D in astronomy. You aren't smart enough to have a definitive theory as to there being life on other planets. This is ad hominem. This is an ad hominem type of logical fallacy. Why? Because you are trying to discredit their argument by calling them stupid because they got a D in astronomy. Okay, getting a D in astronomy don't mean that you can't have theories. Carissa, you believe in aliens? And you've never even taken astronomy. You aren't smart enough to have a theory on that. That's ad hominem. So that's messed up, right? Why would I say you're not smart just because you ain't taking an astronomy class? Right. See this one a lot. Oh, you mean to tell me that, you see this a lot with people. Oh, so I'm going to listen to the guy that, insert something stupid they did. I've done stupid stuff. I once tried to dunk a basketball. I was like 12 years old on the gym floor. I jumped it off the chair. Well, you see how this easily slides? Yeah, got a concussion. Oh, so I'm going to listen to the guy that jumped out of a chair and got a concussion. Oh, you ad hominem in me, bro? Nah, get that out of here. We all do stupid stuff. Oh, so I'm going to listen to the guy that, again, insert something that you did that was not good. Maybe you lied to somebody. But that doesn't mean what you're saying is wrong. Because we all make mistakes. If you were judged on the validity of what you say, the validity of what you say is based off of the mistakes that you've made, well, then there's a lot of people that we would be without some of their greatest inventions, some of their greatest achievements, some of their greatest creations. In debate, I know you guys probably think the debate, like debating, is just arguing. In a sense, but you're not arguing the person. You're arguing the idea. Because if you argue the person, you're probably going to throw some personal attacks out there. That's not how you debate. You are debating the idea. You see that in court. You're not debating the other lawyer. You're debating the crime and whether it happened or not. That's what you're debating. You're debating the evidence. You're not saying, lawyer so-and-so cheats on his wife. So how you going to trust them? Okay. Oh, so we doing that now? Oh, well. He cheated on his SAT. It's like, then you just got a rap battle that breaks out. They're just going back and forth to each other in court. I'm just kidding. I've never seen that happen. It'd be a good way to, probably an interesting court case, though. Maybe they do an episode of Law and Order like that. All right. Nobody? Just me? Okay. All right. So these are 5 of the most common logical fallacies that we see. Tomorrow, you know what we're going to do? We're going to check out 5 more. Because we use this. And we need to understand what happens when we use it. Because we have an error in our own reason. Let's talk about this real quick. We have an error in our own reason. We may not know exactly why we believe something. We may not know exactly why we do something, why we act on something. And so how can you back that up? When we see other people commit logical fallacies, we lose faith in them. Either, we lose faith in their validity. Well, I don't know if I can listen to them because, insert logical fallacy here. So we need to understand how these work, what they look like, so we can be sure to avoid them. All right. So very good, very good. Last thing I want to show you guys, you can get started on this if you would like. You have one more logic practice that we're going to do. One more. I told you we'd have a series of logic practices. I've tried to give you a variety of, again, logic practice because some of you have different strengths than others. Actually, all of you have different strengths than others. Maybe some of you are pretty similar. Some of you are pretty different. Doesn't matter to me. Doesn't matter to me. So we are going to, my RE still there. All right, so what we did right there, logical fallacies part 1 notes. Okay, we did it good. We did it real good. We did it real good. Then you see, you got our bell ringer, which we already did. Then you have logic practice number 3, sudoku. All right, so I'm just going to click on this real quick. You have like 10 minutes in the class to figure this out. If you want to work on this today, you don't necessarily have to. It is due tomorrow night, 11:59, so you got some time. Sudoku is another logic puzzle. I'm just going to read this real quick. Stay with me. Only certain numbers can fit in certain places. We very much use deductive reasoning when solving Sudoku puzzles. Think about it. If a 3 is in that row, premise 1, and an 8 is in that column, premise 2, then a 4 must go in this square, conclusion. We do that internally, which goes back to our bell ringer today. Internally. Logical reasoning happens internally. If you're not familiar with Sudoku, I suggest following this link to read up on the rules and see an example. They can explain it better than I can. You're going to continue practicing your logical thinking skills by completing a series of Sudoku puzzles. Follow the link below and complete the puzzle using the reasoning skills that we have been practicing. So you would follow this link right here. All right, here's how I'm going to grade it. Because, again, this is practice, but you do have to complete a series. So to get 100, you either need to complete 1 hard puzzle or 2 medium puzzles or 3 easy puzzles. You must complete the puzzle to get credit for it. So you can also look at it this way. A hard puzzle, 100 points. Medium puzzle, 50 points. Easy puzzle, 33 points. You see how that works. To submit, either take a screenshot or simply snap a picture and send it to me via Google Classroom. All right, this is what this looks like. That's what this looks like. What? Oh, sorry. Look, I hate when a plan doesn't go, accordingly. I absolutely hate it. Now I got to wait on this. Now I'm waiting. I'm still waiting. Dude, I'm going to freak out. I'm going to freak out on this stinking internet. Hey, I got it fixed. It's okay. I'm not freaking out. I don't know where you get that idea. All right, so let's zoom out real quick so you can see what I'm talking about. On the side here, you see where it says easy, medium, hard, and evil? Don't do evil. I mean, you can if you want to. You don't have to. So here's what you have to do. You have to complete either 3 easy puzzles, 2 medium puzzles, or a hard puzzle. You got this little thing right down here that says, how am I doing? So let's just look at this. We're just going to go through it quick right here. So stick with me. If you don't know how this works, well, prepare to be amazed. I'm just kidding. I'm not good at this. I'm not good at these at all. All right. So you've got to, in this, you see this square, like right here, that little 3x3 square? All right, only numbers 1 through 9 can go in there. All right, this row right here, only numbers 1 through 9 can go in there. But the same number cannot repeat. Same thing down. So let's see. I'm gonna do this best I can. All right, let's throw a 1 there. Let's throw a 3 there. It's kind of trial and error a little bit. Let's throw I'm already getting stuck. Let's throw a 6 there. Let's throw a 1, 2. Dang it! Stop. That's not, I didn't mean 6. I meant 5. I misspoke. We'll throw a 6 here, and then what number am I missing? What do I need? A 4? A 7? I can't do 7. All right, so let's go back. Let's try something new. So let's erase that, and let's go 3 right here. Where's 4? I got 2 5s. Let's go 3 there. I can't go 4 there. Oh my gosh. All right. It's not as easy as it looks, ladies and gentlemen. Not as easy as it looks. All right, so let's start over. So it's going to take you a little bit of practice. Let's not put a 1 there. Let's just start over. Let's just start from scratch. All right, so we've got a 9, a 4, a 2, an 8, and a 5. We cannot put those in that row. We cannot put 9, 2, 8, 5. Okay, that helps a lot. Let's go 3. Okay, let's go 3. All right, and this one we cannot put a 7, a 4, or a 2, or a 5, or excuse me, or a 9, 2, 8, and 5. So let's go. We only got 6. Let's go 6. See how that works. All right, right here. We can't go 6, 1, and 4. We can't go 9, 2, 8, 5. Let's go. I don't know. What you thinking? What you thinking? Let's go. Jeez. So we can't go 1, can't go 2, can't go 3 because we already got a 3 there. Can't go 4. We could go 5. No, we can't go 5. We could go 6. Nope. 7. Nope. 8. Nope. 9. Nope. All right. Then we messed up. Got to redo it. Got to redo it. So let's say, again, you just kind of mess around with this. Let's just put a couple numbers in there just so I can show you how I'm doing thing works. So let's say, I don't know, let's actually put a 3 there. Let's put a 6 there. Let's put a 1 there. Let's put a 4. No, let's put a 7 there and a 4 there. All right, so how am I doing? I can click on that. It says everything is okay. You still have 42 to go. Oh, great. Only 42. Great. So this is how you can kind of check it. You can actually also look at options right here and make it even a little bit easier for yourself. You see where it says checking. You can put helpful and then save options. And then let's say I put a 5 here. I can say, how am I doing? You made some mistakes, and it'll highlight exactly where you made the mistake, okay? So you can make this a little bit easier on yourself. You don't have to make it completely difficult on yourself. But there are different variations. I think I accidentally hit a button. There are different variations. You either need to do 3 easy puzzles, 2 medium puzzles, 1 hard. You get to choose that. It does not matter to me. The hard is, again, it's going to be a little bit more difficult, but you only got to do 1 of them. The medium, moderately difficult, but you got to do at least 2 of them. The easy, well, it's not completely easy. You're going to have to spend a little bit of time. But you got today and tomorrow. People do this for fun. Believe it or not, people do this for fun. But it's a good way to, again, engage those logical thinking skills we've been talking about. Okay, I'm done. I hope that you guys have enjoyed class day. I have had a great time. Good seeing you guys. I'm glad that you showed up. I'm glad that you're here. Okay? So what we'll do is we will look at some more logical fallacies tomorrow. And I want you guys to work on this when you got time. And I will see you guys tomorrow. When the bell rings, you're free to go. And that is all she wrote.